friends, it's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and it is Monday, March 28th. We're going to do a card together. I'm going to show you a couple of samples, actually, and then I'm going to show you a few techniques that we'll use to make this card. Here are the instructions or the dimensions that you might want to take a quick screenshot of in case you want to replicate this card. And here we go. So I hope if you join me during the live that you'll leave me a comment so we can interact. And if you're watching on the replay, why similarly, I'd love to hear from you. It's so great to connect with everybody this way since we're still not doing that in-person thing. All right, so here is the card that we're going to do tonight. I said we were going to do two techniques. One's going to involve all this splatter we got going on the card, and the other is how this image comes on here. And here is another version of it, and this will be in a tutorial I do for my team. So if you're ever a member of my team, you join Stampin' Up! Under me, you get a 4-card tutorial every month, and that is one of the ones for this month. So I wanted to share that with you. So when it comes to stamp sets for this technique, you're looking for something that's open. So a flower like this or one of these dragonflies would work really well, or I'm going to use this silhouette one with the butterfly. I used the leaf one on this card, but I'm going to use this open butterfly one tonight. So that's just a couple of options for you so that this card will come together. Hi Debbie, welcome. All right, so let's get the pieces out here. First off, you need a card base. So I'm going with basic white. It's 4 1/4 by 11, folded in half at 5 1/2 and scored. That's my card base. Set that aside for right now. And then I need a couple of pieces of cardstock. Here's my basic white. This guy measures 3 by 4 1/4. Hi Vicki. And this one is Misty Moonlight, and it's one of the colors I've chosen to work with here. And this is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. So it's just a little bit bigger mat. It's not a full 1/8 of an inch all the way around. It's a 1/16. So it's a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter. And then I need a piece of white or copy paper. Actually, I suppose it could be any kind of paper. I'm using cardstock. I know people don't like to tear and waste cardstock, but I'm going to use this because I want the weight of it when I'm working on it. All right, and then a couple of ink colors. So I've chosen Magenta Madness and Misty Moonlight. Both of these are in colors which are retiring on May the 2nd. This is going to be the primary one. I just wanted some Magenta Madness as a backup option. And then the corresponding inks. So on this card here, I used Just Jade and Bumblebee, also retiring in colors. But on this one I made for my team tutorial, hi Brenda, I used Soft Succulent and the gray granite, that's it. And I will explain a little bit about how we get that splatter. So let's get going here. Oh, and I also mentioned it would be helpful to have some washi tape. You can also use some like masking tape that's not too sticky. And in fact, what I'm going to do with my torn off pieces here of washi tape, so I'm just going to attach them to my skin, and then that's going to de-stickify them a little bit. I don't know if that's a word, de-stickify. It's going to take some of the stickiness off them so they don't tear my paper. All right, so let's grab that piece of white that is 3 by 4 1/4. I'm just going to stick it on here so you can see it and I can work on it. It doesn't really matter where, but I'm using the lines are going to be helpful for placement. Okay, so then I'm going to put a piece of tape up here and a piece of tape down here. I just want to put it in the corners, and I wanted to take some of the sticky off so that it doesn't tear my paper. Then this 4 by 4 piece or thereabouts, I'm going to tear it. And I don't want it to be a straight tear. I do want to go with a bit of an edge on it. And I suppose you could use both halves like this, but I'm just going to tear it at the top and the bottom. I'm going to tear it twice so that I get some different tearing edges. All right, and then the idea here is we're going to mask over, hi Valerie, we're going to mask over our 3 by 4 1/4 by putting the torn edge over there. And then it's going to give us this faux torn look that we see on this card here. And I've kind of hidden this one under the ribbon, but it's going to give us that sort of masking look. So I'm going to take some more tape. This one I'm not too concerned about it coming off because it's going to go right over onto my torn pieces. And then just hold that in place. And where's that other torn edge? And then this one I think I'll place about, you want, well, you know, whatever you want in the middle. You can have it as high up as you like. I like this edge here. Okay, so we're going to tape that down. And we're just creating a piece of white on the top and the bottom of where we're going to do the stamping. Let me leave that there. So let's grab my Misty Moonlight. Hi Glenda. Thank you for popping in. So sorry I missed last night. I was like wanting to join your class. Glenda does a free class once a month and I really wanted to join it, but it's at 10 o'clock our time in Ontario and I was starting to fade, I'm telling you. So that's just the way it goes. All right, so here is Amazing Silhouettes. I should tell you a little bit about the stamp set. So as demonstrators, we got this at On Stage in November of 2021. This was our free stamp set that was in our little gift bags. And it does have matching dies, which I purchased. They're the Thanks and You Are Amazing, and you've seen me use these quite a bit. So they kind of are standalone pieces. But I hadn't used this stamp set since getting it, and it was like, come on, it's time to use it. I couldn't see myself using it. I couldn't see how to use it and how to make it fit. So this looked like a really good technique for it. Alrighty, so I'm going to dip into my Misty Moonlight, and I'm just going to stamp. Now I know that you're not going to be able to see that these are butterflies because I'm not doing it right in the middle, right? But I'm just going for some overall coverage. And you see that I do have white space, which I want to cover up a little bit. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can, I'm going to take this stamp set over here. This is a great one. This is On the Horizon. So I'm going to take another stamp set and I'm going to dab it in there. So if you have something with little dots on it or something with a little pattern or even a small series of words, that would work well. And I'm not even going to put it on a block. Oh, I'm not ending the live video. We're going to continue going. Not sure what happened there. Thanks, Glenda. I'm not even going to put this on a block. I'm going to stick it on my fingers. How out of the box thinking is that? And that won't give me quite as much ink coverage, which is exactly what I'm going for. So I'm going to go around it. And what this is doing is filling in those white spaces on the butterfly. And there we go. All right, I think that's enough for now. I'm going to move that guy over there. Okay, so now it's time to do a bit revealing. So we're going to carefully tear off our mask 1 and our mask 2. And that's what we have here. Okay, so I did get some up there where I didn't actually have the stamp. That's okay. It's going to be totally fine. Each time you do this, it's going to be a little bit different. Now you're going to carefully peel this off too, because you don't want to tear the corners of your paper. Alrighty. So I did learn this technique, or saw this technique, with Mary Knabe, I believe is how you pronounce her name, K-N-A-B-E. She's a demonstrator in the U.S. in Utah, Salt Lake City actually. And she had done it in a little bit different way. So you don't even know it's butterflies. It's something completely different. So now I'm going to add my greeting at the bottom. And I like how I did on this one with a color and then a more neutral. And this is where I was going to jump in with Magenta Madness, but I feel like that's going to be just a little bit too much. So I just want a greeting down the bottom here. Doesn't really matter what. Thanks for everything works for me. Oh no, relax and enjoy your day. Does that fit? Well, that would be nice. Okay, let's go with that one. So grab another block. And then I'm just going to put this down the bottom, and I see a little smudge mark there, but that's okay because we're going to muck this up a little bit more. Okay, relax and enjoy your day. There we go. Now that's technique 1 is doing the masking. Actually, technique 2 was using the stamp without a block. And here's technique 3, and it's called flicking. And what you're going to do is grab some markers, and you are going to flick from this. You can use Stampin' Blends. These are the Stampin' Write markers. Be very careful with the Stampin' Blends because the tips can't be replaced easily, and they are quite a bit more delicate. These ones, I don't know, just the way they're constructed. They're just a little bit different. But I did have to use Stampin' Blends for this one because my gray granite was too dry to get the flicking to happen. So I'll have to come up with a plan for that. Probably needs re-inking. Okay, so you're going to take your lid. Let me do the pink first because it may be a little more bold and obvious. I don't care about this paper anymore. All right, so with the big end or the brush end, take your lid off and then take this tip and carefully flick. So you stick it into the cap and you flick. And if you direct it well, that's a hair that's there, you will begin to see some drops appearing here, there, and everywhere. I guess the more you do it, the thicker the drops are that come out. Again, you might want to turn your end so that it's not too much pressure on the same end all the time. But how cool is that? And so I'll tuck that away for a second, and now I'll take the blue, the Misty Moonlight, and I could, add a third color if I want. I don't really like to do that too much. I'm just going to stick with the 2 colors. Now, like I said, if your marker is dry, on the dry side, it's probably not going to give you some flecking. And that's the result. So something else you can do with your markers. Now we'll finish up the card. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to just tell you that tomorrow night for Technique Tuesday, I'm going to be showing you a technique with punches. If I get a chance, I'll come up with something more to add to the evening, but I'm going to be doing it early, first of all, at 6 o'clock, because I have my class at 6:30 Eastern Time tomorrow night, my monthly Avid Stampers class. And so I don't want to be tight for time or miss out or whatever. That's probably going to go over. So I'm going to start at 6. So be here early or watch the replay. I'm going to do some flicking now on the card base. While I'm doing that, I'll also explain that, yeah, I'm doing a punch technique. So people who responded to my posts, giving me their input on what they thought was going to be on the retirement list, Vicky, who's on tonight, was the winner of the punch. And she already had the one I had chosen. So we picked another one from my stash that's retiring. It's the Elegant Label Punch. And I'm going to show you ways to use it well beyond what it was originally intended. It was just originally intended as a single layer label. Simple, fits certain sizes of greetings. I'm going to show you how you can expand its use to more sizes of labels. And that is my Technique Tuesday. So you got to tune in for that. Okay, so there we go. We have some flecking on there. And then we have our piece that we're going to stick on here. And we need to add a little bit of some kind of embellishment. So what did I pick out? I picked out these. I guess I didn't pick out a ribbon. Did I? No, doesn't look like it. That's okay. We're going to go without. Let me grab some dimensionals, pop this guy up on dimensionals. But I could see how quickly I could make a number of cards like this. I mean, I've used this flicking technique before, but not combined it with a masking one. But how quickly could you get these cards together? I mean, you really and truly could. Now let's add a little something more to it. It really is a bit bare. So let's add silver and clear epoxy essentials. These guys are retiring too. I know it's sad that things retire, but that means there's good deals out there. And another reason why you want to get something there's a couple of reasons why you want to get something off the last chance list this week, if you haven't placed an order with me yet, is because on April 1st, shipping's going up. So I know it's not a lot, but shipping is going up $1 on the under $100 minimum shipping. So if it's under $100, you pay currently $9.95. You're going to pay $10.95. Okay, I'm fussing with this. If you place your order through me and you pick up in Guelph, you can still get it at 10%, or sorry, at 11%, because that's the new percentage rating. You can still get it at the percentage, even if your order's under $100. You just have to wait till I can do an order with a bunch of others. All right, so that's one reason. The second reason is there's all kinds of stuff on that clear out last chance list that's going to be gone. Many of the ink refills and the ink colors, the ink refills I think are gone. I have one Just Jade ink refill still kicking around here. So you want, oh, there's the ribbon, duh. So yeah, you want to get your order in and take advantage of that. So now I'm going to slide, see what I did? Because I had my dimensionals underneath there. I could just slide this through. And I can move that dot. And we can put a nice little knot on this. It's sitting there right beside me. As my dad used to say, it would have been a bear to bit me. So I'm going to peel this. Oh, sure, I'm going to peel this off. You think that those stickies behind it aren't very strong, but they are when you don't want them to be. All right, so we'll move that guy. I'm okay with ruining one. And we'll just put our pretty ribbon on here. Yep, so be sure to get your order in with me before March 31st. Get those retiring things, the pretties. So I talked about Technique Tuesday, and I talked about the price increase on shipping. A few things are also going up starting in the new catalog, which begins in May, on May the 2nd. So I'll probably get a list together for you of those items. They're not going up by a lot, like some things are going up 25 cents, some things 50 cents. It's like really a small amount. Where are we going to put our third guy? Where'd he go? There he is. But, you know, hey, if you can save, right? There we go. So there's our card. And so I'll get a list posted for that. Alrighty. Well, I hope you like this idea and give it a whirl. Let me know in the comments if you tried it. There's my 3 cards. And this one with the Bumblebee and Just Jade, this one was done with Prized Peony. And it's this one here, the smaller flower, not the smallest, but the middle-sized flower. And I just did it a bit here and there. But I just like that tearing technique. Looks kind of different. All right, my friends, thank you for being here with me. I hope to see you tomorrow night, if not next week. Have a great evening. Bye now.